Hi, I'm back. I'm doing this video about going from pre-med and getting into medical school. This is a video that I was prompted to do because I got a comment from from a pre-med student. So I said, why not let's do a video about pre-med. So when you're looking to get into medical school, your number one factor is going to be your GPA. Why is that the number one factor? Because in college you are studying several subjects at the same time, and you're demonstrating that you are able to turn that information, process it, and then poof, put it out onto a test and do well. So, and that says that you have a number of important skills that are necessary for your survival in medical school. And those skills are time management, stress management, as well as test taking skills. Because one of the things in which people look at as to whether a medical school is better than the other one is how smart are their students. And the only way to truly determine that is through, unfortunately, standardized testing. So the higher the standardized testing score of those students, the more prominence that school gets. And therefore, there is a assumption that smart people equal smart doctors and actually produce better care. Okay, so that is why your GPA in college is very important. Now, I know there's some of you saying, well, hold on. GPA can't be everything. GPA is not everything. However, if your GPA is average, when I say average, I'm saying less than 3.4, you better believe your MCAT score needs to be fabulous. It can't just be average. I mean, it can be, but the other things in your application is going to have to work harder for you. But your MCAT score, if your GPA is in the gutter, needs to be 27 or greater. I would even say try to get a 30. If your, a good MCAT score is 24, 25, 26, that in that range, a fabulous score is anything above 30. If you can get above 30 or greater, that is a beautiful score. And that pretty much can get you into top ranking medical schools. Now, if your GPA is, here, if your MCAT is here, then there is a difference. And so, and that kind of will bring you into the middle. So admissions officers will look at those who have great MCAT scores, but not great GPAs, just because it says that you know the information, but at the same time, why is your GPA so low? It gets them questioning about you, which means it gets them to look at your other parts in your application. Because the GPA and the MCAT are usually used as tools to weed out the ones that are poor producers. And so if you can get past the first two hurdles, then you're on to the third one, which means you're closer to the interview. So what's the third one? The third one is going to be your letters of recommendation. Why are letters of recommendation important? Because they say something about you. It's not you talking about yourself, because that's always, when you talk about yourself, it's usually rosy and glory and you never have anything bad to say in your essay. But what other people talk about you, it also needs to be positive. So if you get a letter of recommendation, you must get it from someone you trust, that you know will write a positive letter of recommendation. Because majority of the times you will not be able to read that letter of recommendation before it goes out. And so I say that if you have a doubt, a little doubt that someone may not write you a good letter of recommendation, do not let them write you a letter, because you never know what they might say. And if your letter of recommendation says that you are a little crazy, that may have kicked you out of the process of even being considered. So make sure your letters of recommendation are positive. Also, make sure your letters of recommendation come from people that know you. It's a problem when a letter of recommendation of someone you've only known for a couple months. It's not really a good letter of recommendation, especially on the pre-med level. It should come from professors. If it can come from professors that are in If your undergraduate program has a medical school, if it can come from that professor, that would be great. If it can come from another physician, maybe in the community, those would be better letters of recommendation. Excuse me. All right, so let's talk about the next thing, essay. The essay needs to be captivating. If you've ever read a boring essay, man, that essay takes forever to read. And all you got from that essay was that this person is boring. So please try to write a captivating essay, but don't lie. Do not be deceitful. Write something that touched you, or touched your friend, whatever. Something that's captivating, that will keep the reader reading and will say, this person is interesting. I want to invite them to talk to me on a face-to-face basis, because all your pre-med application is doing is basically trying to get you to the interview. That's what it's trying to do. You got to get to the interview process to get to the next step, which is the admission. But you got to get to the interview. And that's what your application is trying to get you to do. So what's the last thing? The last thing is your extracurricular activities, whether that's work, whether that's clubs, whether that's society, whether that's volunteering, but your extracurricular activities, because that says, hey, this person is actually committed to this thing that we call taking care of people, taking care of their bodies, taking care of their minds, and you better believe it, sometimes even their spirits, even though some physicians don't like to talk about that. But your extracurriculars gives an idea of what is important to you as well. So if all your extracurricular activities all involve sports, well, it seems to me that you like sports more than medicine. Now, if you're doing sports medicine as your extracurricular activity, well, that says something about you. It also says, well, maybe you want to be sports medicine physician or a orthopedic physician, but your extracurricular activities are important to your application. They're not high ranking, but they are important. So let's just quickly recap. GPA, MCAT, letters of recommendation, your personal essay, and your extracurricular activities. Okay? Those are your paramount points in your application. Now, there are also things that can make your application look better, and that really is your letters of rec. If you can get letters of rec from prominent people or individuals who are alumni of those particular medical schools, then that is better than someone who has no connection with the school. So that helps you. In addition, some people are not majors, are not medical majors, or not in a science major. That can be actually a positive, because those individuals tend to bring a different aspect into medicine, a different viewpoint, a diversity. And so just because you're not a science major doesn't mean you are not seriously a candidate. That actually may boost you in a sense, especially if your science grades or your science GPA is very good, because that means if you have good science GPA plus a fabulous GPA in this other thing that's not necessarily related to medicine, that says something about you. That says that you are broad, you are flexible, and so that actually may be in your favor. I'm not saying being a science major is not in your favor. But all I'm saying is, if you are not a science major, you don't have to say that that is a barrier for medical school for you. All right, well, that's all I got to say. If you got any comments or questions, post it. Share this video with other pre-med students if you find it was helpful. If you have suggestions to improve this video, I can always re-record it and add those things in there. But thanks for watching.